In this video, I discuss the bookkeeping entries for a profit on disposal. I also will discuss whether the profit will be a normal profit or will count as a gain. For the latter one, we have to disclose it as other comprehensive income. The case study is taken from chapter 35 of my textbook Basics of Accounting. I'm Carsten Berkau, full accounting professor in Osnabrück. My BasicsClips will help you to understand international bookkeeping. At the beginning, we take a look at WARDRIFT Limited's register of non-current assets. In the third line, we find the car which is indicated by OS for Osnabrück W300. Its cost of acquisition of 40,000 and accumulated depreciation is 10,000. On the 25th of June, WARDRIFT Limited sells the car. Before we record the profit on disposal, we must record depreciation. It is 4,000. The dealer is prepared to pay for the car 31,890 euros. It is always a good idea to prepare a drawing once we want to discuss about a disposal of an asset. We enter the cost of acquisition, which is in this case 40,000. Remember, cost of acquisition is always the net amount. The car got written off for 3 months, then for another 12 months, and then for 6 months. The car gets sold at 26,575. This will give us a profit on disposal to the extent of 575. At the beginning of the accounting period, the opening value in the property, plant and equipment account is 40,000 and in accumulated depreciation it is 10,000. I record the first bookkeeping entry, which is about depreciation. I make a debit entry to the extent of 4,000 and I credit accumulated depreciation. When the company sells a car, they must record a receipt of cash, which is a debit entry in the cash bank account. They have to credit value-added tax as well. Next, they have to give away the car, which means they have to credit the property, plant and equipment account and have to make a debit entry in the accumulated depreciation account. Instead of recording one bookkeeping entry, we split the bookkeeping entry into 4 single bookkeeping entries. The realization account is always the contra account. The first entry is about the receipt of cash. It's a debit entry in the cash bank account and we have to credit realization. Next, we make a debit entry for the output VAT, which is 5,315. And then we take the car out of the books, which means we have to make a credit entry in property, plant and equipment account, which means we actually close off the property, plant and equipment account to the realization account. Next, I make a debit entry in accumulated depreciation and I credit the realization account. Now I balance off the account. Next, we transfer depreciation and the profit on disposal to the profit and loss account. The balancing figure in the profit and loss account is a net loss to the extent of 3,425. We first record depreciation. Bookkeeping entry 1 is a debit entry in depreciation to the extent of 4,000 and I credit the value to accumulated depreciation. Next, I balance off accumulated depreciation. When WARDRIFT sells the car, it records a cash receipt as bookkeeping entry number 2. It is a debit entry in cash bank and we credit the realization account. The company is registered for VAT reduction, so for that reason we must record output VAT. Bookkeeping entry 3 is a debit entry in the realization account and a credit entry in value-added tax. Next, we close off the property, plant and equipment and the accumulated depreciation account to realization. It gives us the bookkeeping entries 4 and 5. We balance off the realization account. As the realization account is credit balance, we know this is a profit on disposal. We record this profit on disposal with the bookkeeping entry 6 on the credit side of the profit and loss account. We also transfer depreciation to the debit side of profit and loss. We either disclose the profit on disposal as other comprehensive income as long as it is the day-to-day business. It will look like this one. Or as an alternative, we can disclose the profit on disposal as a gain on disposal as other comprehensive income. Now that you have seen the video, take the textbook and study the case.